Hi everyone, my name's Bill and welcome to my channel. Before we get started, please consider subscribing to my channel and possibly becoming a patron. This is my full-time job. Now recently I did the review and I'm still releasing videos for the tutorials for the RadioMaster T8 Pro. So this video now I managed to get out and I have range tested it. I wanted to see how well it did with the fact that it's got an internal antenna. I'm also going to rerun the test with my full-size radio with a full-size antenna and see what the results are, because I can't really compare it to the previous receiver test I did because I'm in a different place now. I live in a different area. So let's switch over to the footage and see how the radio did. Right, I'm at the test area. I'm going to be walking down there. I've got my test rig, so I'm going to walk down there and see when I get an RSSI critical and RSSI failure. I'm going to use a RadioMaster R161 receiver to do this test. So this is the one that's connected here. If I put the antennas 90 degrees to each other, so let's go ahead and test this. Okay, now I'm testing the TX16S, so let's go and see how far we go before we lose telemetry.
RSSI low.
Okay, I'm running out of space here.
RSSI critical.
Okay, I'm showing an RSSI of 40,
RSSI low.
41.28 at 432.8 meters. And I'm still connected, so I can't go any further.
RSSI low.
Right, now let's try this with the T8 Pro. I've set up the telemetry window so that I can see exactly what's going on. Let's see how far we go now. I was quite impressed with the TX16S then, going over 400 meters. Okay, it's a very flat area. Okay, now I can see on here the maximum and the lowest RSSI, so it's 52 at the moment, so that dropped off quite quickly. Now I'm deliberately keeping it in between me, my body and the receiver, so I would do this with every test I do. I know you would get a lot further range, line of sight, but this is the test I'm doing, just to have a comparison. Oh, RSSI lowest, 49. I suspect the T8 Pro.
RSSI low.
Okay, RSSI low at 97.1 meters. So I'm just testing till I get telemetry lost.
RSSI low.
Okay, it's low again. Oh, lowest RSSI 26.
RSSI critical.
I would suggest probably we aren't linked, but anyway, we're doing this when we get telemetry lost.
RSSI critical.
Critical, and that's 134.9.
RSSI critical.
It's at 10. The lowest so far is 10.
RSSI critical. Telemetry lost.
Okay, telemetry lost. There we go. We've got a blinking screen there, as you can see, and we are at 170 meters. So whether that's a fair test, comparing it to the other radio, but I think you should, because I have noticed when I'm flying the T8 Pro, I go probably about this distance, 200 meters, I was getting a telemetry warning, just a low warning. So anyway, there we go. So obviously quite a big difference between the external and internal antenna. So let me just repeat myself there. That is 170.5 meters we lost telemetry. Now if I turn round,
telemetry recovered.
You see the telemetry comes back, and that is because my body's in between it, but I'm doing the test for both of them with my body in between the receiver. Otherwise I might have to walk, I don't know how far, out to the sea I think. There we go. Anyway, if I turn around again,
RSSI Critical.
I was expecting to get these results from the T8 Pro because when I was flying it in a video for a set of goggles that I was reviewing, I lost telemetry probably around 200 meters away. It's a telemetry low. So I expected to get quite a low result, but I was quite surprised how different it was. So I wanted to rerun the test with the TX16S, which, let me look at my notes, it went, the RSSI low was at 222 meters and the RSSI critical was at 254.4 meters. But the T8 Pro bombed out with the low RSSI at 97.1 and the RSSI critical was at 114. But the biggest thing was that the TX16S went to well over 400 meters without telemetry being lost, but the T8 Pro went to 170.5 meters. So I expected that result because when I've been flying with the T8 Pro, I was noticing that the telemetry was running out a bit short, but it's still, obviously in the air, this is done on the ground. In the air you will go further, I'm sure. But it's just a test I wanted to do to compare it because it doesn't have an external antenna, which is a shame. There is a gap in there for it, but when I opened the radio up to have a look, there is nowhere to connect it. So there is like a socket at the top, but nowhere to connect it. Whether the external antenna will make a big difference, I'm sure it would, as you could see from my test. Before I go, I just want to say that this wouldn't stop me buying the T8 Pro because I would be using it for the smaller aeroplanes and smaller quads. If I was going to use a big, quarter scale gas motored plane, I wouldn't use this radio because obviously the size of the model means you can fly it further away because of its physical size. So yes, it wouldn't put me off buying this radio or use it. I will still be using it, but I'm going to use it for my smaller quadcopters and my small planes, like the one I just go out and fly at the back of my house. If you found this useful, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below because I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.